20 years ago, I was marooned on an island in the Western Isles of Scotland, isolated from the rest of the world. I was one of 36 volunteers to be cast away for 13 months. It was a TV social experiment. We were cut off from the internet. We had no visitors, we had no phone, no television. Ours was one of pure isolation. 2 decades later, and I found myself in isolation once again, albeit a very different type of isolation. It's like we've pressed the pause button on the world. Everyone has had a moment to reflect, to think about how we've been living and how we can be living. I think for me and for my family, it's given us a moment to reflect on our approach to life. Need over want, the form of consumption and consumerism and materialism that we rely on and that we are part of. I've had so much time to think about the experiences I've had and what they mean. The wilderness has been tremendously empowering for me. Over the years, I've rowed across the ocean, I've climbed Mount Everest, I've walked across the Antarctic to the South Pole. And each of those has changed me profoundly. I find the wilderness in all its different forms a very powerful, empowering place. But unfortunately, the human race takes more than it gives. We're quite a selfish society in many ways, but amongst that selfishness is a huge amount of selflessness. I think the COVID-19 crisis all around the world has given us all a moment to think about our own impact on the planet. All of us have been forced to reduce our consumption. All of us have been forced to become more resourceful. All of us have been forced to have a slower life, and therein lies the key. It's all about slowing down. If I can take some parallels to living on that island for a year or climbing Mount Everest, on an expedition, you're forced to ration what you have, the water you use, the food you eat, the resources that you have. You're forced to value all of those commodities and think on your feet. And I suppose if there's one thing that we can really take away from this whole crisis that has caused a huge amount of suffering for many, many people, but let's think about the positives that we can take away from this. We've all realized that actually we can live a slower life. We don't need that speed and haste and quantity and volume that we had all become addicted to. A little like climbing Mount Everest that you can see behind me. It's all about slowing down. It's all about respecting the environment that you're in. It's all about valuing the flora, the fauna, the natural habitat that we have beyond the walls, the windows of the homes in which many of us have been confined for the last 2, even 3 months. I hope as we come out of this crisis, all of us will be more respectful, more selfless, and more caring to the environment.